All right. Um, hey, folks. So we are back again. Once again, we are on the eve of a new set release for Star Wars Unlimited. And yeah, so Fantasy Flight sent us a few little goodies to take a look at to celebrate the release. Start with, we got a set of sleeves here. We've got sort of some of the standard character art sleeves. And then we've got the new just sort of unlimited logo sleeves.
I think of it as like the greebles or like the greebly sleeves.
Yeah. Yeah, these have the cool little I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera, but all the sort of little like Kurt said, greebles that you see on some of the boxes already and in some of the streams and things like that. I wonder if these are going to be an evergreen product than like the other logo sleeves are. All the ones with the different lightsaber colors, Gamegenic has said like the character art sleeves they're only going to print so many for each set, and when they're gone, they're gone. But the lightsaber, like different aspect color ones and stuff, they said they're going to keep printing those.
They certainly seem like they could be evergreen.
Yeah, but anyways, so I think these are both showcase, right? The Maul and the Qui-Gon.
I think so, yeah.
And then this the Grogu here, this is the prestige card art. Let's 60 sleeves, 2 clear sleeves, so that hasn't changed. Packaging is still the same. Let's just take a look real quick and see feel wise, because I know they did sort of change up the sleeve formula a little bit between Spark of Rebellion and the ones that came out with Shadows of the Galaxy. I think just sort of in terms of the way they feel, the way they slide, no change there.
These ones feel smoother to me, unless I'm crazy. I don't know what you think. Not that they feel bad, but
no, I think they both feel about the same. Yeah. Still the white insides. That's one thing I wish that they would change personally, is the white inside. So that way, I wish it would be nice if it was black. Personally, I think so. That way, you wouldn't have then a little bit of white showing around the border of your cards when they're in the sleeves. But yeah, of all my complaints with the sleeves, that's a pretty. All right. So I guess I should say lack of complaints. I think that's a pretty minor complaint to have.
Yeah.
Maybe someday if we keep saying it, because I mean it isn't the first time that Gamegenic has updated the product line in response to things people have said. I can't remember. Did we have the paper wrapping last time?
Yeah, for Jump to Lightspeed, it was paper like that.
Yeah, it's good they're continuing that trend. So we've got the whole packaging is recycling rather than having some useless plastic wrap at the end.
Yeah.
And we got a couple different play mats here also. We've got this first one is just the standard. It's the unlimited, I guess you could say, the greebly pattern again here. And then we also have this Dagobah mat, which I believe that's the art on the. Is that on the Force
token? Yeah.
So once again, we've got the stitching on it. This feels like it might be slightly thicker than I remember than my other ones.
Hard to say. I like The pattern though, the greebly kind of graphic design around it is nice.
Yeah, it does look really nice. I mean, I think the amount you're gonna like this one is really gonna depend on your opinions on having the play zones on the mat. Some people really hate it, some people like it. Um, I'm sort of neutral on it, I guess I would say.
It's obviously less subtle than the
Yeah,
other ones that are just a little outline.
yeah. I mean, and obviously, like this one here, I think, like, this is something that's going to be, I think, good for, if you're doing demos, or or teaching new players, something like that. Just having these different zones on the playmats, is always just sort of a helpful tool for them. Um,
And I think there's a few people out there that think the art is too busy and distracting, right? So
for sure,
yeah,
for sure. I mean, and it's got the stitching around the side now. They're continuing that. I've been really happy with the stitching so far on the mats from last set.
yeah,
I mean, they advertised where they said they stitched it different so you don't get your cards caught on the edge of the mats. And I agree. I haven't noticed that happening as I've been playing with any of the new mats. So I think, as advertised.
yeah. Looks real good.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that or the Dagobah one then.
Ooh,
Oh man, that is definitely beautiful.
very high detail, especially in the water dripping, all the moss and foliage and stuff.
Yeah. Again, this feels like this definitely for sure feels thicker than like it's 100% thicker than this Yoda mat we had out to start with.
Yeah,
But
not as in double thickness, but it is definitely
Yeah.
thicker.
but I don't have one of my other stitched ones from last set nearby to grab to compare to. But just based off of sort of what my memory's telling me, I think that these are thicker. So which is funny because the play mats like that we got at like the regionals were definitely noticeably thinner than the normal Gamegenic play mats. So
Interesting.
yeah, I'm not sure if that's just because of like the print on demand nature or something like that. I hope that they do go to the stitching for prize mats in the future too, because it's really nice to have this. And
Yeah,
like I did notice like my participant executor playmat is already starting to show a little bit of wear along the edges slightly just from playing it. Well, it's a black playmat, so it's going to be the most
Yeah.
noticeable. Um, but yeah, I think once again, Gamegenic still doing a really really solid job on all these accessories.
for sure.
I'm hoping I'd like to see, maybe some sort of an acrylic force token. I know that that's a thing that's going to be prizing for events though, so we may not see something like that. We'll see because they may want to keep that special just for the events. Um, but all in all, I think this all looks great.
Yeah.
I think we are going to. We've got a few other things. We've got some of the spotlight decks and stuff. We're going to take a look at those, but I think we're going to split that off into a separate video here. So people who want just the gameplay can get the gameplay. People who care about the accessories can see a little bit about that. But yeah, so we're gonna reset up the camera, crack open our decks, and we'll be right back in the next video.